Hi guys, so I decided to do my active listening day over spring break. So me and four of my closest friends went on spring break down to St. Petersburg for 3 days. And we have a very diverse group of people in our group. We have some people who are a little bit quieter and a little more go with the flow. And we also have some people who are a little more outspoken, very open to sharing their opinions, no filter really, will just kind of say what's on their mind at any point. And I'm definitely one of those people. So I thought that this listening experiment would go really well since we didn't really have much planned, and it was a lot of getting input from the group and just deciding on what we would do. So the first goal that I had was to implement the RASA acronym, which is Receive, Appreciate, Summarize, and Ask, which came from the TED Talk in the resources this week. So I really wanted to focus on receiving the information and appreciating it. Sometimes when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I've actually been trying to do this even before this assignment, which is just trying to ask people questions and kind of keep the conversation more on that person before offering my input. Of course, it's super awesome to offer input to somebody and to kind of, bounce your own experiences off of them. But if you move on too quick, it can kind of seem a little bit insensitive and like you really weren't listening to them. So I thought that this acronym was awesome for just kind of, receiving it and then appreciating it, and then summarizing. I thought was really cool, just to give that person the comfort of knowing that you actually listened to them and you're able to reciprocate back what you heard, which is obviously taking into account active listening. And then asking questions, just going back to that person and offering a question about, oh, could you, why did this happen, or more backstory on something that they mentioned. So I thought that was really cool. My second goal was patience with communication. I've always struggled with patience. I'm a very go, 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 go kind of person. And sometimes I can get a little bit caught up and a little bit impatient with things, and I definitely recognize that, and it's something I work on a lot. So I implemented that as one of my goals as well. And then number 3 was including all parties. So like I said, we had a couple of people on our trip that are a little more tame, a little more docile, might not always speak up if they wanted to do something. So I was really in tune with that, and I really wanted to make an effort to include everybody on this trip on what they wanted to do. So something I did before was I actually took one of the suggestions from the TED Talk, which was do 3 minutes of silence. In our day and age, in our generation, I feel like it's really hard to actually sit and not listen to anything for 3 minutes. It almost feels like you kind of start to go crazy because we're so used to taking in stimuli constantly. So sitting in silence for 3 minutes is just not something that's super common anymore. So I went outside one morning and just sat and listened to the birds that were outside and was just quiet for 3 minutes. And it was actually super strange because I really can't remember the last time I've done that. But it really helped me get into like a listening headspace, in a place where I felt like I could take in what other people were saying without having so much going on in my head and thinking about what I had to do. So going throughout the day, I really tried to include everybody and when making a decision, rather than me and the other person who were kind of more forward and kind of leading the group, I asked some of the other girls what they wanted to do. And they actually had some really great ideas that we honestly probably would not have thought of had I not asked them. They were just, they're just a little more quiet about it, but asking them, we actually did some of the things that they wanted to do because they were thinking about it, but they just didn't speak up because they honestly were like, we can do whatever, but I was thinking X, Y, and Z, and it was actually super helpful. So definitely something I want to continue to do, because I think that sometimes the quieter people are the people that actually like think things out more and are more, listening to all parties and truly like think out what the best option is. But sometimes they just don't speak up. So I definitely want to keep doing that even after this experiment. And then I also was asking a lot of questions and just being more of an active listener. It is hard because I'm so busy that sometimes I feel like I'm not fully enveloped in the conversation, and I'm kind of thinking about what I need to do, my ever-growing to-do list in my head, so I'm not super great at being present in the moment. But again, that's something I really want to work on, and I actively did try to do this the other day when doing this, when trying to achieve these goals. And it was actually really nice to focus on the conversation that was going on and not so much worry about all the things that I had to do. I was also on vacation, so I shouldn't have been worrying about the things I needed to do anyway. And it was really nice to actually like fully give somebody my undivided attention and like not feel guilty after the conversation and just think, ooh, like, did I not really give that person the time of day? Like, I hope they couldn't tell that I was thinking about something else, because I do think about that sometimes. So it was really nice. But overall, I really do think that the sitting for 3 minutes really helped me to kind of get into a headspace to really truly listen to people. And I really enjoyed getting the input from some of the quieter people in the group. And I think that this will help me a lot, like in a professional setting where you definitely have to listen to people and you definitely have to take into account all of the input. And I really liked the How to Listen and How to Be Heard source. It's a book in the required readings, but they talked a lot about incorporating listening and what it means in your corporate life. And all of us obviously are either in jobs or going to be in jobs very soon, and it's super important to take into account what everybody on your team has to say so that there's no resentment or hidden feelings that grow from that. So I think it's super important, and I really value what we did for this experiment.